Hey everyone, this is Teresa Hegel, Executive Editor of Special Projects and Sustainability at ASI.
And this is Cassie Green, Content Director of Apparelist and Editor at Printing United Alliance. And you're listening to Branding Together, a new adventure into the converging worlds of print and promo.
We're here to bring you an engaging monthly discussion that dissects just how closely each of these industries align. Whether you're a promotional products distributor, commercial printer, apparel decorator, or a little bit of everything, our topics and guests will bring the ultimate crossover conversation.
When you're ready to bring your business to the next level, get lost in this month's episode, which is set to happen in 3, 2, 1. Well, thank you so much, all of our Branding Together listeners, for joining us for yet another fun, exciting episode. It is May, and we are in full-blown spring mode over here, Teresa. I am talking about not only the May flowers, but also just the growth of the industry and all of the professional and personal development things and seasons that we all constantly go through. So yeah, excited for this episode.
Yeah, totally. This is going to be fun. We have a lot of fun stuff planned, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, and so, as we traditionally do, we will start with some news and headlines, and there might be a little negativity, might be a little bit of unrest, chaos, but stick around for the entire episode because we've got lots of fun, exciting things planned as per usual. We have a great guest joining us later. And then, of course, Teresa and I always like to end with a little bit of fun. I'm not going to tell everybody what it is, but this is going to be a pretty interesting episode. So be sure to stick around to the end. So, Teresa, do you want to kick us off with some headlines and just news?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I wanted to highlight is our next 5 years package that we at ASI did recently. The idea, and it's kind of annoying to actually think about this, but it's 2025, so we're halfway through the 20s. So we were kind of looking at 6 different areas where people in print and promo can kind of focus on so that you can be successful throughout the rest of this decade. So we looked at things like automation, staying adaptable, going global, sustainability, of course, that's the one I wrote, personalization, and then just focusing on how to treat employees, because I think human resources and the way employees kind of expect their job to be has definitely changed because of COVID, and just I think it has been sort of evolving, over the last few years anyway. So it's a really in-depth story, and I think you can get a lot of value out of it. So we will definitely share the link to it in the show notes.
Yeah, and along those lines, it also being May and Mental Health Awareness Month, I think those are some things that everybody's got on their mind. The way you create company culture, the way, like you said, people are treating their employees and things like that. So very cool. Love that. I'll go next. Some big news on the Printing United Alliance side is we just released a unified printing taxonomy for global industry adoption. So one of the things actually to
make that more like English for me.
Yeah, I was going to say
down a little.
One of the things you and I actually talked about a while back is sort of like the terminology that we all use in the industry. It's really interesting because a lot of times you will hear very universally adopted terminology that we all use to refer to one thing, but then there's a lot of ways we refer to different things in our industry that are different, even though we're talking about the same thing. So this is a standardized classification system for products and services across the printing and graphics industry that just helps people understand what terminology and taxonomy we're using, right? So what does a certain term mean? What do we mean when we're talking about PSPs, print service providers, things like that. So finally have something put together. It's free and available for download by suppliers and partners worldwide. So it's kind of a cool way to hopefully, clear up some of the gray area.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we all want to speak that same language. And sometimes I feel like, one person's saying one thing, someone else is saying something and they think they're talking about the same thing, but then they're really not.
Right. So yeah, that's my first big headline to share.
Awesome. I have one more thing to share. Basically, I'm sure everybody is tired of hearing about tariffs, but they're not going away, or they are going away, or they're not, or they're coming back, or they're getting bigger, or they're getting smaller. So much is going on. But ASI, we on our news site, we just added another tag, another section specifically for all our tariff coverage. You can just actually go to asicentral.com/tariffs, and it'll show you all the latest stories. And there's even like, I think, a little call out box that will tell you sort of where we are right now, like what is the current, status of tariffs. We also have been doing tons of webinars, and you can watch the latest webinar, check out the latest articles. It's just like a very, very comprehensive and always ever updating resource for people.
Yeah. I use all of the resources y'all keep putting out. I mean, it's very good. You guys have done a phenomenal job keeping the industry updated, whether that's like news reporting or, like you said, offering webinars, resources, things like that. So yeah, guys, if you have not checked that out, follow along with ASI's tariff coverage.
Yeah, we're really breaking it down in a very detailed, comprehensive, but also I think easily digested way.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, I think, a really helpful point, is because sometimes it can feel overwhelming. And like you said, breaking through all the lingo and understanding exactly what's going on can be hard to understand. So the fact that you guys are putting together in an easy, digestible way is very helpful. I will say we also have plenty of not a little bit different of tariff coverage, obviously. One of the things we recently did was run a survey on how the printing industry is so far reacting to tariffs. And then, of course, this runs in tandem with what you guys are doing, because obviously ASI focuses pretty heavily on the promotional product side. We focus on kind of the printing side. But we did run a survey. It's kind of ongoing, but most recently, we have some results ready to go that our research team, and particularly our chief economist, Andy Paparazzi, put together some results. I will just give everybody a little tidbit sneak peek into that. More than 90% of the participants in this Alliance survey on the effects of tariffs in the printing industry expect all of the recent increases, the recent craziness, to impact their businesses. But what we are seeing too is strong opinions on both positive and negative side, which I think we really need to focus on. Is there are people who fall in both sides and see both opportunities and challenges that come with this. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later in our episode. It is ongoing. We are paying attention and constantly collecting survey results. So really encourage people to participate in that and kind of pay attention.
Yeah. And I think it's a good thing to do these surveys, to just sort of, the more people that participate, the better pulse we can get on how the industry is feeling and how things are going. So it's definitely worth looking at the results, but also, taking part.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of my big headlines. Of course, you can pay attention to all of our various publications and make sure you're subscribed. But those were kind of the big things I wanted to highlight in this episode.
Yeah. And I think one thing we wanted to kind of narrow in on the idea of weathering the storm, because things are a little tumultuous with tariffs and just other things going on in the world. So I think we both came up with some kind of tips and strategies for just ideas of how to weather things. I actually took a lot of mine. I'm not going to say I stole them. I borrowed them from our CEO, Tim Andrews' recent letter that he sent out to suppliers and distributors, but it had some great stuff in it. So one thing, when it comes to tariffs, I think it's really important to understand costs in your price quotes. Are the tariffs and shipping included? What happens if prices change after the order is placed? Make sure that you're confirming the price in writing and have your suppliers specify how long they'll be valid for. That'll clear up a lot of confusion, I think.
Yeah. And first of all, borrowing, if you cite your source,
It's true. I'm just saying yes.
Here. No, I love that. I think that's great advice. And that kind of goes along with the first piece of advice that I have. Also borrowed from chief economist Andy Paparazzi and the whole NAPCO research team. And it kind of goes along with what you just said, is being in communication with your suppliers and making sure you understand what they're charging so you can build it into that. But this is a piece of advice when you're weathering this storm, is make sure you are researching your own pricing model as a printer, as a distributor, as a decorator, whatever you classify as. This is a great opportunity to reevaluate your pricing structure, because maybe you have not adjusted your pricing model in several years. It's probably time to look at that, especially with all of this going on. Where are you going to have to absorb those costs? Are your suppliers increasing prices? For those that are, are you keeping in contact with them so that if you have to remodel your pricing
Yeah.
structure? And that's something Andy talks about a lot. Is this is a great, maybe don't look at it as a challenge, maybe look at this as an opportunity, because maybe you haven't remodeled it in a while and this is the perfect time to reevaluate.
Yeah, no, I like that. And another thing to think about is, are you actually structuring your price around the value that you're adding? I think sometimes
Right.
people in both of our industries kind of devalue some of the extra services that they offer, and that is a part of the value you're bringing. So make sure that you're charging appropriately for that. Let's see, another piece of advice I have is to work with your suppliers to see if you can come up with better terms to offset the impact.
Love that.
So maybe that could be like bulk purchasing or long-term contracts to get more favorable pricing. But see, get creative about how you're paying for things. Maybe there's a way to bring things down if you actually just talk to your suppliers.
I love that. Great advice. Wow. Really good. And I hope that everybody really takes that seriously and listens to that and does take this opportunity to be in communication with their suppliers. Yeah, you never know what you can work out or what they're willing to do with you. It's all about collaboration right now, which is one thing. I was just at the Coordinate Connections event in Miami, and that's one thing they talked about a lot. Is it might feel like chaos right now, but you need to lean heavily into your network. And so, to your point, make sure you're chatting with your suppliers. How can you come up with something? And then also make sure that you're chatting with other businesses. Ask your network, what are you doing in your business? Are you adjusting your prices, or are you doing something else? What is it that other shops are doing in their region or area to help absorb, the chaos and kind of restructure a little bit? And that was something that was talked about heavily, is just this idea of collaboration. So make sure you continue to collaborate with your network, regardless of who that is. And even maybe you work with a consultant, a sales consultant, a marketing consultant, a business consultant, whoever, to kind of help make sure you keep your business on track, especially when stormy times come.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I couldn't help
yeah.
myself. I had to.
So I also want to emphasize the idea of collaboration, and I think it's something we've talked about too, just between the print and promo world, because maybe this is a good time to kind of reach out to some printers to see if you can kind of come up with ways to work together, weather the storm together. If you haven't done it yet, like now might be a great time to do it. And then I do just have one other. Maybe this is a little self-serving, but I think it's actually useful for people. But we've actually added filters in ESP Plus, our product sourcing tool, to help people quickly find made in the USA products. So that those, we've been talking about made in the USA. Maybe they will have less tariff fluctuations because they're made here. So this is an easy way to search out those kinds of products.
Maybe self-serving, but also just a really good resource. I mean, y'all put that together to help the industry. People should be leveraging it.
Right, right.
Yeah. My final piece of advice, and again, this is something that we just keep hearing constantly, is don't quote unquote knee jerk react. So we're seeing a lot of people just like all of a sudden panic. Maybe, but maybe not. Like that might not be the best reaction. Take a step back, take a breath, do some reading, get on the ESP Plus tool, right? Do some research, talk to everybody. Don't just immediately be like, I got to raise my prices by 50%. Do your research, take a minute, pause, really think about what is it my business needs. And it's not just now during this chaos, but play the long game. So that was something a decorator, I believe it was Rodney, McDonald at US Colorworks said. This is not a time to just implement temporary measures or get crazy and react and then all of a sudden have to react again and then react again. This is a time to play the long-term game and evaluate, okay, I want my business to be here in 5 years. What is it I have to do to not only survive now, but survive the next 5 years? So I thought that was a really good thought.
Yeah, that's great advice for sure. And I think that's something like businesses need to do just in general. Even when you're in very good times, you
Yeah.
should not be being reactive. You need to be proactive. You need to have kind of a long-term strategy in
Oh
place.
my gosh, what you just said is so brilliant. It needs to happen in the good times too. Don't just like be crazy when everything gets bad. Be paying
Yeah.
attention when things are good too.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
good advice, Teresa, from Tim, from Rodney, from all of the people,
Yes.
Andy, all of the people we just credited. Reach out to all of the people that are on our respective teams too, because we can probably connect you with
Hmm.
others who can help and offer advice if you're not sure where to turn.
Yeah, yeah. I think we get emails from distributors all the time, and we're always, trying to help as best we can. So we certainly are here as a resource.
Absolutely. So, very cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, Teresa. I feel like it was helpful for me too, because even in personal growth, like when you're feeling like a little overwhelmed or chaotic, it's smart to take a moment, talk to your networking group, you know, what is, what resources are available and things like that. So,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
well, do we want to, Teresa, introduce our speaker, our guest?
Yes, let's introduce. Today we have Koell Collins. She's the founder of Stable Strategies, a distributorship based in Augusta, Kansas. In addition to her promo expertise, Koell also spent several years in the signage and printed graphics space. So today we're going to talk to her about her experience in both worlds. Thanks so much for joining us, Koell.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Stable Strategies. I want to know like who your target demographic is and just some of the cool projects that you guys have worked on.
So we are a distributorship built to handle heavy duty print and promotional products along with apparel and eventually probably some signage as well. Our intention is to serve customers with multiple locations. Our sweet spot from a technology perspective is really any more than 5 or 10 because that's when you need heavier technology capabilities to really pull the weight of keeping your brand together with consistency. And most of our target clients are over 1,000 employees.
Oh, wow.
And do you have any like cool projects that you can share?
So we've got multiple platforms that are being set up currently. We also have an internal handwriting division. So we've got, in addition to just regular kitting and promotional products, direct mail, we also do plotted handwritten direct mail as a part of our integrations for a complete solution to engage both employees and target customers and really strengthen brands across the board.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
that's
That is really cool. One of the things, Teresa, oh, go ahead.
that's my current biggest lift is that there's been a lot of fun projects, but that one seems to be taking the most of our effort to make sure all of the tech is working well right now.
Yeah. No, that really highlights what Teresa and I talk a lot about on branding together is just how much convergence there is with the printing world and the promotional product space. And which actually kind of leads me to this question, before founding Stable Strategies, you worked in print, it sounds like, for a company doing signage and graphics. So can you kind of give us a little backstory on that? What did it entail? And then what skills did you bring from that into where you are now?
So I actually started in print right out of college and I started working for one of the big box stores managing print. So I'm a print girl by nature. I love everything tactical. And then I joined a really forward thinking distributorship in the Midwest that also started in print and forms, that then had added promotional products to their band of business before I started in 2006. So I've worked in that happy mix of print and promo as a total solution for 15 or 20 years. And then I jumped to signage, which without the print background would have been an unimaginable lift because there are so many things that are similar in both of those worlds that it really prepared me for everything except substrates, the dimension of substrates, and permits. So I like promo better than I like signage only because permits are the scourge of my existence.
Fair. That's fair.
So, Carl, I've actually chatted in the past about sustainability and your focus on sustainability, and that it kind of surprises people sometimes because you're based in Kansas and not like on the coasts. Which I mean is kind of a silly thing for people to think, but I get people have weird misconceptions. But can you talk a little bit about how you've kind of built sustainability into your company ethos and then kind of what your clients are looking for in terms of ESG metrics?
Absolutely. So I skipped over what I really did in signage, but I was a part of an international provider that worked with large brands like Marriott and Sandals, Hyatt and Hilton, Salesforce, all of which had big ESG targets. And it's a part of not just their American brand, but their national, their international purpose. And so that got me really excited because I led that team internally to make sure that we were doing all the documentation as a part of project management and operations. And so that got me really excited because I'm a farm girl from Western Kansas. I spend a lot of time in the dirt. I woke up last Friday morning super early to be at Botanica, which is our local botanical gardens, to be a part of their tulip sale. So I have 200 tulips to plant this fall. Super excited. But I love taking good care of our planet and I love promo, but it sets hard in my heart when we don't do the best for our customers. We're trying, like our products have massive purpose and help their brand have consistency and emotional connection and resiliency. But how do we do that well and with intention? And so that's taking what I learned from signage and how it was done well at companies like Marriott and Sandals, and then applying that to the background that I had in print and promo kind of was an aha moment for me. And so I am in Wichita, and it is an interesting climate today. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, there's all sorts of conversation to be had. But I think all of us see the need to take good care of the planet. How we do that differs. And I think that having the conversation is really important. So I can provide customers two products. One is made sustainably and one is not. They can choose whether it's a good value for them or whether it matches, but at least they have the ability to be an educated consumer. So that's where I'm coming from. And again, I spend a lot of time in the dirt and with horses and planting things. And so I just really care too much about all the things.
200 tulips.
Oh,
Yeehaw.
I'll be there tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get some more. They sell them for 30 cents a piece. It's the craziest, fantastic deal. They do
Oh,
70,000 tulips every spring. It's amazing.
wow. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. You said you have brought some of the things that you learned in your time with like working with signage with Marriott and things like that, incorporated it into what you're currently doing, some of those, tips, tools, things like that. What would be your advice to other print and promo professionals that are kind of making that leap or switching or going to a different part of the industry? Because like you said, you had some, skills that translated. What would you share?
Finding good partners is the first step. So I would reach out to major trade partners in print if I was jumping to print from promo and lean on them. A lot of them have some fantastic knowledge and are very willing to share it. I remember probably 2007 or 2008 I've been in the industry way too long. There was a gal named Mary with Wordcraft who was a label queen. And Mary taught me to sniff labels and to tear them to see to see what the substrate was. And she had so much patience for me that she really helped me hit that $1 million mark my first year in the business. And they will teach you. So reach out to trade leaders and let them know that you're excited about learning, and then take advantage of any education that they offer. You can do it while you're in the car. Take a course with ASI, take a course with one of the vendors, get on a podcast. But don't be afraid to ask questions and to pick up the phone. We have a ton of people that are helping. Brand chain, if you're in promo and want to get in print, brand chain is fantastic. If you're in print and want to get in promo, Carrie is my favorite with ASI. She leads education. She's a big reason why I'm successful. There are tools to help. So come to the trade shows, ask questions, and get out of your comfort zone, because there's plenty of business for all of us, and we can all do it a little bit better.
I love that, and I love that you shouted out Carrie. I'm gonna have to let her know
I didn't
later.
I
She'll
didn't
be
get to see
thrilled.
her in Fort Worth. I
Um,
missed her, which made me sad. I know she was there, but we
oh,
didn't cross paths though.
maybe next year. Um, so I wanted to kind of go back to our sort of theme of spring. You know, it's a time of growth. April showers bring May flowers, all of that stuff. So, what are some of your best tips for nurturing your client relationships and helping your business blossom?
So my biggest tip right now is developing the tech behind the client relationship. So I'm going to take a moment and shout out Liftoff and Promo Pilot. Those are two tools that have been successful for me in the past. Liftoff is a platform, and I use ASI for promo, and I use Liftoff to facilitate forms. But the marrying of all of those tools, really stretching yourself and learning that technology, and then reaching out to people that are industry experts that want to help with tech, like Eric Granata at Promo Pilot. He and I had a conversation earlier this week, and he's helping me with tech stack development and integrations. So I have better data into my CRM and my systems, and my clients have better visibility to what's going on with their orders. And it's a tall lift because I've got plenty of work coming in, but how do I make sure that we do it in the way that I know that companies like Marriott and others want to be able to have visibility to their orders? And I need to build that foundation now because I'm only 13 months in and all the tools are available. So don't be scared of technology. Like, find out how you can use it to your advantage, and then ask your customers what they want from it. Do they want visibility to their orders? Do they want advanced reporting? Do they want AI suggestions? Ask them what they want, and then find technology that will help you do that without spending 60 or 70 hours a week to do so, if you can. I'm still on that road to getting to the less than 60 or
Yeah.
70, but we will get there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that you are, you know, you're spending all that time now so that hopefully it'll be more seamless in the future.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I learned in signage, because we were a firm that had been bought by an investment group and had access to a lot of technology, and it had been kind of a conglomeration situation. And some of the development is not as hard as it looks when you're a small distributor if you've got the right tools, or even if you're a mid-sized distributor and getting out of your comfort zone. But seeing what can happen using tools like PageFlex and Order Desk and some of those things can really make you a better provider and save you time. So even if I do the hard work now, we will have a portion of our team committed to keeping that tech relevant and cutting edge so we can grow with our customers and meet their needs.
Yeah. So crucial that you're doing the work now. I think that sometimes that can get lost in translation among so many in our industry is, do the work now because it's going to pay off in the long run for sure. And it is going to help with growth across the board. One of the things, Koell, that we like to do, Teresa and I, is we always like to ask a fun question of our guests. We love this note of positivity and we love getting to know you a little bit as a person. So, being that it's, good weather season, you kind of talked about this, so I maybe have a hunch about what you're going to say. However, what is your favorite springtime activity and why?
It's not what you think. I actually helped put on a rodeo Bible camp at the end of May. I'm just a little piece in a much larger wheel. But we have 70 or 80 kids at a church with an arena just not too far from me. And we do horsemanship and barrel racing and steer riding and roping. And it is crazy. And we sleep on a cot for 4 days. And we spend a ton of time outside talking about how to be diligent and how to work hard and how to have empathy and care for others and all sorts of things that it fills me up for the whole year. So that's what I get excited about. And my two nieces from Houston, Texas come, and so I get to pick them up later this month. And so I'm going to just try and get as much done before they get here so I can have some time. Well, they're technically my cousins, but I don't have siblings, so I've adopted them. But they're going to come and I get to spend time with them and we ride horses and be goofy and I make all the kids laugh because I'm kind of a really goofy character.
So I live in Colorado and I'm a huge rodeo nerd. Always have been. My dad was a saddle rider, all that stuff. That is so cool. I love that you do
Thank
that.
you. It's really exciting.
Oh, and I love that you surprised us too.
Right.
We thought it was gonna be tulips,
Yeah.
and it
No,
wasn't.
Yeah.
I have to wait till fall to plant them. So I just look like a crazy person with a whole bunch of
That's
tulips
true.
drying around on paper bags right now. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's all
It's fine.
fine.
I really appreciate the invitation, ladies.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great chatting with you today. We love it.
Have a great
Yeah.
day.
Thanks for joining us, Quill. How can people connect with you
So I
real
am
quick before we let you go?
You're good. I am on LinkedIn as Koell Collins. I'm the only Koell. Well, I'm not the only one, but we're few and far between. So I'm pretty easy to find. I also have a bunch of old videos under Promo Cowgirl because back in the day, that was kind of my moniker. So if you want to see how absolutely goofy and silly I can be and how horrible the videos are, they're out there. And our website is stblstrategies.com.
Love it. Thank you. Awesome, Koel. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a great day, ladies.
So
Okay, well, that was such a great conversation with Koel. But as we do every month, we like to end on a fun, silly, positive note. So last month, Cassie quizzed me. This month, I am going to quiz her. So because May is Kentucky Derby month, and it's also the month of the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, we're going to do a little quiz where she has to guess whether each of these names that I give are going to be a horse, a dog, or a promotional product. So if you want to play along at home and tell us, how you did in the comments, we would love to hear it. But I'm going to don my
yes,
floppy hat.
Teresa and I have our own Kentucky Derby floppy hats ready to go.
Yes, yeah. So we're ready. All right, all right. So here's the first question, and remember, you're guessing if it's a horse, dog, or promo product.
Got it.
Surrey Sage.
Horse.
It's a dog.
Dang it.
Poodle.
Well, that's a great name for a poodle.
All right, question number 2. So far, you're O for O? No. O for
But
one.
wait,
O for one.
before we go further, how many do I get? Because I need to know when I got to get serious and like.
Yes, there's 10. There's 10
Okay,
questions.
right, we're good. I'm in a good spot.
Okay. All right, number 2. Cyberknife.
I'm gonna say promotional product.
Horse.
Dang it! I thought for sure I had that one.
O for 2.
Upsetting. This is not good. All right. Come on, Cassie, get your game face
All
on.
right. All right, here's the third question. Yeti Rambler.
Okay, promotional product.
That was a gimme, but
Thanks
so you
for
got
yeah.
one.
No, thank you for the softball. You saved me. I was drowning there for a moment.
Okay, next one. American Promise.
I feel like that's a horse.
That is a horse.
Ooh,
All right. All right, the next one. Brewmate.
promotional product?
Yes, that's a promotional product. I think it's like a drinkware brand.
For a quick
Um,
second there, I thought dog because I'm like coffee colored dog. I mean, I don't know. Could have been
Well, I didn't want to
good.
make it too easy for you. All right, next one. Citizen Bull.
I'm gonna go dog.
Horse. It's a horse.
Dang it. At least I have a pretty good sense between what's an item and what's like a living creature.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Next one. Mop toppers.
I feel like promotional product.
Yeah, those are those pens. You've probably seen them with the little face and like the crazy like sponge hair that I think you can like wipe your screens with them.
Yes.
All right, here's another one. Stone Run Afternoon Tea.
Horse.
Dog.
Oh man, I thought that was. I'm gonna say something, and sorry, all of you Kentucky Derby fans. I thought that was obnoxious enough to be a horse name, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. So if you're a horse fan, sorry, was trying to be nice.
All right, so next is Pinnacle Kentucky Bourbon.
Horse.
Dog. So
No,
whip it.
man, I clearly am not paying attention to the dog world. They are just
Well,
as
it's
easy.
hard because they have a long name and a short name. So I think I've been kind of tricky and sometimes giving the short names of these dogs, sometimes the long name, just to kind of throw you off.
You're doing a good job. I'm gonna leave this podcast. I'm gonna go read up on some Westminster Kennel Club dog show info.
All right. So the last one, picnic at Ascot.
All right, that has to be a horse.
It's a promotional product supplier.
No.
I think they do like fancy like picnic stuff.
Well, I like fancy picnics, so maybe I'll have to look them up. Man, I did not
Let's
do
see, how
well,
many did you
Teresa.
get right? You got Yeti?
I only got like four right.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, yeah,
Man,
about two, three,
Vander, that's
four.
failing. Failing grade. Ah, all right. Well, this hat did not give me the
Not
luck
your
I
lucky
was
hat.
looking for. It's fine. But you know what? We look fabulous. And
Yes, yes, of
it's like
course.
we are ready for our own Kentucky Derby and dog show.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for another great episode. We'll be back next month with more fun stuff.
Yes, I am loving the momentum we are getting with branding together. And just a reminder, if you or someone you know wants to be a guest on our show, please reach out to Teresa and I because we love having conversations with the people in the industry, understanding how print and promo work together, and just like hearing your cool stories. So, yeah, please reach out.
Absolutely.
We'll make sure we include our contact information in the show notes. And yeah, thanks everybody.